Can I mention something about that then?
Yeah.
I think he's got a t-shirt on because you can see the round neck, and on his, or like on the right of the picture there, and just on his top of his shoulder, there's a small peak indicating that he has got like a t-shirt or something on.
Yeah.
And also the left hand, which is actually his right hand side, looking at it, I think his face has been crushed in, or
Thank you for saying that.
Either shot or
Thank you for saying that.
And I think while he was in your 3 pictures, he wants you to find who did it.
Yes.
I'm smiling.
Medium now.
I'm smiling. They always come to me and show me their injuries. It's not nice sometimes, especially with head wounds. He just came and visited me in the toilet. It's nice, you know, I go to the toilet, people just pop in and have a chat while I'm trying to go to the toilet. Who knows the Alan? Alan.
A person called Alan.
Yeah, Alan. I just had an Alan came and visited me in the toilet. He died, I think, 1968. It's important to him. Look, he's still here telling me. Tell him about 1968. Who knows the Alan? For 1968.
Do you have a last name?
No, they just... I'll explain something what happens. If you've ever seen John Edward on TV, what mostly occurs is you get like the first bit of a name and then it sort of like dies out because it takes a lot of energy to communicate. Okay, so the immunity, it comes through like a zap. So what you hear is on like John Edward, you'll hear him say, who knows the Julie? Who knows the Jenny? Julie, Jenny. So what we hear is the and you hear the 2 syllables. So Julie, Jenny, Julie, Joni. So it gets very confusing unless they actually come in and say, my name's Alan. And that's what I just got in the toilet. He's an old man. He passed from a heart attack. He had a little ring of hair around the back, so he had a bald spot. Does anyone know him? Sorry?
Yeah, and we were just talking about them.
Do I want to explain? Does that look like him?
Yes.
So tell me who Alan is.
My uncle, my father's brother.
And what happened to him?
That was heart attack. But it was a long story. He was at my bedside with my grandparents, and I was pronounced dead, and my father had left the Catholic Church, and they were Catholics and had me christened.
Yeah.
And anyway, when I came back, he was one of the witnesses, and my parents arrived. They'd been called because I wasn't expected to live, and when they walked in, a sister said, I'm sorry, you're just a little bit late, but she didn't realise that what was going on in the ward, that I'd come back.
Yeah.
And then when my dad realised his parents had gone ahead and had me christened in the Catholic Church by the priest, he was, apart from being annoyed, my grandfather said to him, well, you can't deny the church now and the priest. And the priest and the nursing staff were all around, and he said it was thanks to Father so-and-so that she has been brought back. And my dad said, no. He said she saw her mother and I arriving and decided to be here for us as a joke.
So his name was Alan?
Yes.
And he just came into the toilet with me. Who was the lady I was just having a joke with when I went into the toilet? I was saying, I see people walk in the rooms all the time, I follow them, there's no one in there. I often go to the toilet because that's where I have my, if you want me to get anything, come through now. So people will walk through the door and just pop in while I'm literally going to the toilet. It's like, oh, okay. So he just popped in. Did he have like a receding hairline?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, he did.
And what's the importance with 1968?
I'm not sure.
Okay, because he said, wanted to remind you of something that happened in 1968.
It's just after we moved up north.
Yeah.
Okay. And who here's been to Malaya? Okay, yeah, there's a few there. Because I just got getting Malaya. The other thing I got to was, who's got the dog with the bung leg? Back leg. Left back leg. Is that you down the back? What's the story with your dog with the back leg? It's in his knee, is it?
Yeah.
It's in his knee?
Cruciate ligament
It's
problem.
okay.
Okay, yeah, so your dog came and visited me in the toilet as well.
You need to have
Yeah, so while I've got Alan sitting there telling me, there's a lady who did it.
around you.
Yeah, so there you go. If you needed confirmations, I just gave you some. I go to the toilet because I am honest. Sitting here with all of you, I've got energy, and there's like 10,000 voices talking about this, ask about that. So I always separate, and then I can just get like one or two that want to come through. People come to me for readings and they say, oh, I want to connect with my grandmother. I can open the portal, I can actually reach through it because, you know, we see it as like a window, but it opens up to like a 4-foot tunnel. I can physically go in, but I don't go all the way. I don't want to get sucked in. But I can go in and say, I'm actually specifically looking for Susan Marie Wilson, mother of Jane Ann Wilson. Can you please come through? She needs to talk to you. It's their perspective and it's their prerogative if they come through. So even as much as we want someone to say, my grandmother's here with me now, it's her decision whether she ultimately comes back through free will. And it's the hardest thing. When people say, oh, I want to talk to my grandmother, I will explain. A lady was at my house. She said, I want to talk to my grandmother. Her name's Irma. Or I'll just make up Irma. So I opened the portal and I said, I've got Susan here with me. I'm looking for her grandmother, Irma. Irma came through. Straight away I saw a lady. She had a wooden walking stick, like a stick. And it had a kink in it with a bow, you know, like normal wood. And she also said to me, was ist das? So I looked at this lady and I said, is your grandmother German? She said, yeah, she was. I said, did she have a walking stick? Yeah, she did. So she pulled out a photo and there's this stick. And I said, well, she said, was ist das? What is done is done. Because you've got to remember, these people, they cannot interfere with our lives. They can support us, surround us and give us hope and security and support, but they're not allowed to interact with us and make decisions for us. That's one of the hardest things with people coming for readings. They want, I need to talk to my grandmother now. Mm-hmm. So it's the question that I ask everybody, why do we have that need? What justifies? I'd love to talk to my grandmother every day. She was a psychic. I was with her when she passed. I was in bed with her when the nurses came in. But I love talking to my grandmother, but she'll never come through because she knows I'm doing the solo and she doesn't need to come through and give me any guidance or advice. So she's letting me be. But other people without this gift, where it's that need, I need to talk to this person, you've got to justify what is that need and why do you so passionately want from their answers? Because the only answer is within ourselves. Yeah.
Lynda, do you give readings like future readings on advice or direction?
I don't.
Quandary, people that are in a quandary and they're just
Yeah.
in a little bit of
Okay.
direction, something like that.
That's basically the main reasons why people come for readings. Get past, I want to talk to my dead grandmother, but then the next thing is, I'm in a quandary. I'm curious. I've got 3 paths I can go on. Should I take this job, that job? Should I go with that guy? Where am I going with this relationship? They all want to know what's going to happen. I openly say I will never go past 6 months in the future because the future's not set.
Sure.
Okay? We make our own paths. We make our own futures. We can decide for ourselves what's going to happen tomorrow. Okay? And I firmly, strongly believe in free will. Okay? I cannot, because of that wall that I hit, I can't say, you've got to go and get that job. So you can't take that job because I told you to, because that's against your free will to do it for yourself. So why do I only go 6 months in the future? I openly only go 2 months in the future, myself. Because you know, there are things that we can change in the next 2 months where hopefully we don't get taken out by a bus or we don't get some infectious Ebola disease or something. But I only ever go about 2 to 6 months in the future. But then again, I do get messages come through where, oh, tell this lady in 5 years she's going to be there. Funniest thing, I had a friend and she said, I don't know where to go. And I said, well, I can see you in Japan in 2 years. She said, really? I said, yeah, I can see you in Japan in 2 years. Sure enough, guess where she is? And it was 2 years ago that I told her where she was going. I've disappeared twice today, before and during the last session. I'll go around and I don't ask, Lord, I don't say ever anything. Oh, I want to do a confirmation reading for somebody today. I humble myself, take my ego out of the equation, and I am their channel to give people the message they want to hear straight from the source. Who believes in spirit guides? Who believes they have a spirit guide? Who believes they don't have a spirit guide? Our higher self is us. Spirit guides are other people who've passed who look after us. Like they're angels, archangels. If you call them ascended masters, can come down and help us and guide us. But I've been told by some very, very good psychics. I've seen them in America, I've seen them here, I've seen them in the US, the UK when I lived over there. I don't have a spirit guide because I'm talking straight to whoever they are, where I don't need that intervention from a third party to come and help me do this.
Well, Peter used to say.
So I don't have that spirit guide. But if somebody ever did tell me I had a spirit guide, thank God. Because I'd love somebody I could say, hey babe, I need some help today. You know, I need a BFF. You know, yeah.
So is there a difference, the things that you do now that you weren't able to do?
Oh, I can tell you something very, very, very that I do now that I didn't do a year ago. And that is now I communicate with crystals. If someone said to me a year ago, oh my God, you're going to be talking to crystals, I would have probably laughed so much I spat in their face. So a story. When was it? Last September. I woke up, it was a Sunday morning, and I got told I had to go to the Gold Coast. And I had to take $300. So I rang up my friend and I said, what are you doing today? I've got to go to the Gold Coast. She said, where? And I said, I don't know. Because they don't tell us the whole story, and that's what irritates me. They just tell you in snippets. Like they say, tell them about their dog. Huh? Tell them what about their dog? What's wrong with their dog? So they just say, mention the dog or something like that. So anyway, so I rang up my friend and we went down to the Gold Coast, and as soon as we got to Broadbeach there was a big sign, Mind, Body, Soul, Spirit event. I said, oh, that's it, we've got to go there. So we stopped at a service station. I said, I need $300, sir. She said, oh my God, are you sure? And I went, well, they're telling me. So anyway, as I got to the door of the Mind, Body, Soul exhibition, I got this pull. It's like a magnetic pull. I went across a few aisles, and I'm going down this aisle, I'm going down there. I stopped at this lady. On the counter, she had a big rose quartz, like a pyramid, but it's 2.5 kilos. Guess what the price was? $300. So there was my confirmation that I was at the right table. So she said to me, oh, do you like this crystal? And I'm holding it and I'm thinking, I'm not feeling anything. Oh, yes I am. So I said to this lady, I do like this. I am going to take this crystal from you today, but it's the two that you've got under the table that really do want to come home with me today. She said, how do you know I've got two under the table? And I said, because this crystal's telling me it's from Brazil, and the three that are with it are actually from the same outcrop. And they were mine back in like 2012. She said, funniest thing. So I've got two, and she pulled them out. So there's three big crystals. I had to go back to the ATM. Sorry, I'm trying to make it funny. So I got these big 3 rocks at home. She said, I was over in Brazil in 2012, and they just mined, and they just pulled all these rocks out, and they're the 3 that I liked. So I brought them back to Australia with me. But now that she's broken, obviously has to go to Mind, Body, Soul exhibition, she's trying to sell them. So yeah, I got the U, I got the 3. The one that wanted me, oh my God, does it never shut up? It likes being in water. If it's not in water, it complains all day and night. It wakes me up. If I put it in the car, that's why I don't bring it with me when I do talks, because if I put it in my bag, all I get the whole way is, get me out of the bag, 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 get me out of the bag. Oh my God, it just, shut up! You're going to be about 3,000 crystals in a minute because you're getting smashed in the corner. So that's, yeah.
Now you know why she sold it.
If you ever come to my house, you'll be able to see them because I use that one that never stops talking to me. I don't let anyone else touch it, but other people have been there and they hear it as well and they said, oh, for it, does that ever shut up? So it's good when other people say it to me about this rock.
I meant actually up your NDE, and in particular to do with the portals you mentioned, whether they were something you do now that you wouldn't have known about before, or...
Oh yeah, I've never seen portals before. But the funniest thing, after I woke up from the NDE, you know, you're very sick. Okay, I was very sick. I was still in hospital for about 2 weeks. As soon as I woke, people say to me, what was the first thing I saw when I woke up? It was the blue tube they were pulling out of my throat because I've been on life support for 8 days. Yeah, nice. So anyway, next day when I'm sort of still getting conscious, this nurse came in and I said to her, oh my God, how's Motley? She said, how do you know Motley? I said, oh my God, you've been here for the past 10 days. All you're talking about is your freaking cat, Motley. She said, tell me about Motley. I said, oh, you know, shut up about Motley. He's got long brown hair, he's got a tail with a white spot on it, he's got kidney trouble. You need these pills, it's like $5,000 for the pills. You don't know whether to get him put down, you don't know whether to get a new kitten to play with him, you don't know, you're driving me bloody insane. She turned to me and she said, I do have a cat called Motley. It has got kidney problems. It is $5,000 for the pills. I am considering getting a new kitten. But the problem is, I've been down on the 3rd floor all week. I haven't even been in ICU, so how do you know all this?
You've been roaming around a bit.
Yeah, it's fun being a psychic, I tell you. Yeah.
Have you ever had communication with something besides crystals?
Yeah.
That is not of the planet, from the planet?
Yes. And? You know what I'm leading to about next Friday night?
I want to know.
Okay, I'll tell you a story. My friend Sue. Yes.
And I have to say, half these people here come to the UFO meetings.
Okay, who's a ufologist here? Anyone? Into UFOs? Okay, have you ever touched one? Don't do it! I'm just going to be warned. Don't ever touch an alien. Okay? Sue and I and another lady who claims to be abducted, because I don't have that evidence confirmed proof, right? So we went up to this place up at Maloney, because Maloney up on the Sunshine Coast is pretty active with UFOs. So I'm up there, we're at this light, lookout, under this little pergola thing, and it's all open, no trees. Starts to pour down. But about 10 feet outside of this little hut thing we're under, there's a spot where there's no rain falling. And as we look at it, it's a perfect circle. So, what did I say stupidly? I'm going to go and try and connect to it. Don't ever do it, guys. I thought I died. You're not supposed to touch aliens. They are on a different frequency or energy level to us. Yeah, I thought I died. Okay, Sue's living testament of it. She was there. Yeah, don't touch an alien. I've seen them a few times. They do telepathically communicate with us. So they don't actually have to be in contact with you, like in the next room, E.T. phone home type stuff. They can be up in their ship or wherever on their planet, because you've got to remember they're on a higher plane to us, and they also use a different brain capacity to us, and they're more sophisticated with their psychic abilities. And what I've found from like aliens is they don't tell me much.
They don't tell anyone much.
No.
What do you think? So what happened last week in New York State? There's these 5 skiers. They stayed at a resort at the bottom of the hill, and in the morning they put on their gear with their skis, went up chairlift, and they were going to ski down, then come back and have breakfast at the resort. They had no phones, no keys, no nothing. Okay? They go to the top of the mountain, the 5 of them. When they get to the bottom of the hill, there's only 4. 6 days later, he's turned up in California. 2,900 kilometre trip. So, funny thing, because I'm a conspiracy theorist, because hello, that's me. I always research stuff and try and work it out. He got to the top of the mountain, didn't get to the bottom, but he doesn't have much recollection of what happened to him, except that he was in a big rig and a guy's driving him. So the question I ask there is, what are they leaving out? That's what makes us conspiracy theorists. What aren't they telling us? Because if I'm driving this big rig down the highway and I come across a guy in ski attire with a head injury, first thing I'm going to do is say, here's my phone, I'll get you to an hospital. Why would you travel them 2,900 kilometres to the other side of the country before you tell someone about it? So it's not aiding up. Yeah.
Do you think that there's a connection between the afterlife and extraterrestrials?
That's a really good one.
I have my own theories, but I want to know what
Love
you think.
your questioning. Because you got to remember, where I went back to, heaven, if you want to call it heaven, I call it home. When you're at home, are they all just human life forms? Are they all our fauna and flora life forms? It's like being in the movie, what's that one? Guardians of the Galaxy, where you're sitting at the intergalactic pub and all the different races come in.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's very, very weird. So I have one philosophy with reincarnation. If we do believe that we want to reincarnate, go through that round, whatever that was, we can go to wherever. I might want to be a Martian tomorrow. I want to be in 6 universes over doing that thing on that planet. So, because it is all energy connected to each other, that we don't always have to come back just as a human or earthly living cell. We can go to other planets and stuff this Earth thing. Next year I'm going to Saturn. You know, I believe in that. You know, and the same with them too. Like everyone knows the tall greys. Hello. When they reincarnate, they might want to come back as a human. They might want to come back as that ant to be trodden on by somebody next week. So,
Yeah, I've had people that look like it too.
Yeah, I had an ant question. You know how you said, and I just wanted to get some clarity on this, is with the life review, you can feel everything from the other being's perspective. And, you know, like you said, you know, you felt what the ants felt, you felt what the timber felt, but it's virtually impossible to live on the planet without stepping on ants.
that's right.
So what does that mean?
Okay, so where does forgiveness come into it? Because doing that life review is all about judging why you do something.
Okay.
Unintentional acts. I walk from here to the toilet, yeah. Sorry, I'm just going to throw them out there.
Yeah.
I might stand on a few fleas, I might stand on dust mites, ants crawling around. Sorry, but you know what I mean? Little life forms in the carpet. It's an unintentional act because I didn't mean to do it. In your life review, it's all about the things that you meant to do. Okay, just to clarify. Like when we're having a fight with a person.
But then, yeah, when you're having an argument, you don't mean to have an argument, but you have triggers that get...
That's right.
Activated.
Yeah.
So you're not doing it
So
intentionally.
do I fight
you're doing it
anymore?
unconsciously.
I'll tell you, when I was a teenager, man, was I in some very verbal arguments with some people.
Yeah.
I now will not fight because I know that ripple effect that it causes. Where they go to work, spill the coffee, and then their downhill day is done. So yeah, I try not to cause ripple effects negatively to anybody. You know, and the first thing I want to tell you is when I touch on that, if anyone today does have anything negative about what I've said, please let me know. I like feedback, whether it's good or bad, because I don't mean to ever offend or pass judgment on any person, because it's not in my capacity to. We're all the same people. You know, take off our skin and we're all an energy force. What colour your aura is generally means what mood and your personality traits. You know, we all have different personality traits, which comes through with our auras, which do live on. This guy, if he was a narcissistic a-hole in real life, guess what sort of ghost he'd become?
Same.
I've come across a few nasty ghosts over the years. Yeah.
Just a question back before. If you talk to the angels, right, and you believe in them.
Thoroughly, I believe in them.
Yes, I do too. But I've noticed sometimes a connection. That's why I'm asking. I remember one night I was in pain. I needed healing. I always ask my angels. But that night I woke up and was being worked on. But they looked just like a nurse and a normal doctor. I looked kind of confused when I woke up. She tried to...
Angels can take on any form.
Yeah.
That's why they can
So
be
it
a
wouldn't be
feather
angels,
falling
it
from the
wouldn't be
sky,
aliens,
or just
because
a...
They didn't come to me like people say you get worked on by... I know I go up there and... How do you put it? I think they're extraterrestrials, but to me they look human. They come to me sometimes actually looking like someone I know.
They take on familiar faces, so you'll feel safe.
Yeah, that's what they do. But I mean,
And angels do a lot of times present as animals. They don't come through as rhinos or blood-curdling dingoes with the drool coming out of their teeth. They always come through as kind, loving animals, like cats and dogs and birds. You know, who's ever been eaten by a bird? So that's why we see a lot of feathers coming down.
Would they take on a relative?
Of course they can. You can take on anyone's persona.
Yeah.
Shape-shifting.
Shape-shifting.
Yeah, same thing. Okay? Yeah, so if somebody does want to come through and they know that you used to have a friend you used to confide in as a child and her name was Susan, they'll take on her form. So when you see them, you're not scared.
No.
Okay? They don't want you to be scared.
No.
You know? I just want to share something with you guys because I've got a photo here.
We'll just have to wind it up after that.
Yeah. Let me just get the date of this. It was the 8th of February. When was that? Last week?
Yeah, last Thursday.
Okay.
Something like
I'm in bed and I woke up and there's a man standing next to my bed. I'll explain what he looked like because it was just like a person standing next to my bed. He was a very big male. His arms were like this. He had darkish skin, sort of like a Pacific Islander, right? You know, native Pacific Islanders. And he had all the tribal tattoos all over him. All he wore was this little thing around his waist with leaves and beads hanging down, hiding his privates. And he had this like a little leaf wreath thing around his head. And he said to me, "You need protection." So I said to him, "Protection from what?" And he just smiled at me. And then he pulled out this knife out of his thing.
Me.
It was about yay long. And it had all engravings. And the handle was all like tapestry woven. And what he proceeded to do, he stuck the knife in my bed, because I'm in bed, remember? And he starts carving like this around my body. So I woke up in the morning thinking, holy heck, what was that? Got out of bed and I've got cuts in my sheet.
Okay.
So I rang up my friend Rick, because we're very connected. And I said, "Man, I just had a really weird dream." He said, "So did I." I said, "What did you dream?" And he said, "I had two. I woke up and there's two next to me in the bed. But they looked exactly the same as what he had. Same sort of clothes with these leaves and stuff. Same sort of thing on the head. But instead of a knife, this guy pulled out like a mojo bag with an ointment in it. And he said, you need protection around your left knee. So this man's proceeding to put all this stuff around his left knee. And Rick said, I don't know anyone that's hurt their left knee. Now, if you Google what date was the 8th last week, that was probably Thursday. Does it make sense? So I said to Rick, funny that you mentioned someone's just hurt their left knee, because last night, Wednesday night at the RSL, my sister fell over and broke her left knee. She's been to the doctor. She's got liquid fluid in the knee. She's facing surgery in 2 weeks. And he said, well, they told me how to make this concoction that I've got to put on your knee. But we both had the same men. He had 2. Damn, am I jealous he had 2? I only got 1. But who are these beings? I've never seen this man before, but he was protecting me. So, yeah, I got a photo of the cuts in the sheet. I put my, see, there's my phone. So, open up. There's my phone next to the cuts in my sheet. Where it's cut around me.
Do you think it's like cutting attachments or something?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, for the past 2 weeks I've been totally drained. And seriously, today, with only about 2.5 hours sleep, I should be brain dead by now. And I'm just powering up. I know I'm going to go home tonight and just ask some people if they want readings, because the more I'm here today, the more I'm powering up. And that's where I know I get my really good readings, because I went to the toilet and they're now coming to see me in the toilet. I'll tell you a quick one. I was in Redcliffe Hospital in the 80s. First night I was admitted, they stuck a drip in my arm. That night this nurse came in and sat on the bed talking to me for about half an hour, told me a lot of things about the hospital. Next day another nurse came in and said, how was your night? And I said, oh, that lady. I told them the name. She's awesome. And they said, that lady? I said, yeah. She told me all this and that. So she went and got a big star photo, came in, she said, can you pick her out? And I said, yeah, that lady there. She died 5 years ago in a car accident. Still does the rounds at Redcliffe Hospital. So sometimes we do see them as, she actually put welts in the bloody bed. Like the weight. The bed moved when she sat down. She wasn't there because she was a ghost. So I see them like that. I see them like a transition, like a reflection in glass, or they come through as energy, like that.
Like, just like a motion.
Where you smell flowers. Whenever I do readings, I have to close all my windows. I turn off the AC, because sometimes I get cigarette smell, I get pipe or perfume smells, or I get flower smells. So it's not so much what I see, it's what you sense in other ways. So yeah.
There was a woman who told me her story, and she was with a friend, and someone came to her and grabbed her arm, and they could both see the fingers indentations in her arm.
Absolutely.
That was pretty. I mean, that must use a lot of energy by the incarnate person. Yeah.
Of course it does.
But she wanted them to know.
Yeah. I did a house cleanse, where are we today? Sunday. Would have been last weekend. Did a house cleanse. She's got 2 cats, and when the cats go into this one room, they just go crazy. I saw it. The cats go crazy. You know, they're just meow, 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 meow when you take them into this room. So anyway, there was a big black portal there, and I thought, oh my God, that's not a good one. So I started pushing all the bad energy into it, and then this thing came from behind me. It was like a big black shadow, punched me in the back. I had a bruise on my back for a week. So yeah, you do get physical. You know, don't just say, don't just think that you don't get touched, and
So how do you deal with it? Like, you can fight them off, don't you?
I turn around straight away, and this is exactly as I say it. Before I say it, I'll teach you. Every one of you should be saying this, because we all need protection. We've all got an energy field around us, and that's why I'm doing circles around all of us, because they're telling me that I've got to protect all of you today. So as I say it every time when someone leaves after a reading, this is my house, my rules. You have no right, no permission to be in my mind, body, soul, spirit, or my energy field. You must now depart immediately. Under free will and under universal law, you have no right or permission to stay in my house. You must now immediately leave. If anything stays in my house after I say that, you know you've got a baddie.
Oh, okay.
And it takes a little bit worse to get out, because that's when you've got to start cleansing with your incense cones and get your candles out and do the oms, we mean no om. Sorry, Sue went up to the gantry last night, and you know, I don't know if you do skywatches. Anyone here do skywatches? Where you sit around, you play the music and stuff. I was out on one night. You know, we're doing the meditation things that you do, and there's a joke, because everyone's omming. We mean you no
Very clever. We'll have to wind it up there. So,
thank you all for coming, guys.